Alrighty. Mansoor, you ready?
Yellow.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another episode of the Anti-Shuffle podcast. I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm really stoked. We have another wonderful guest on this episode. Unfortunately, Mansoor, I know Mansoor internally is stoked, but he's feeling a little bit under the weather. Mansoor, tell us how you're feeling today.
Yeah, I'm a victim of the English weather, but it's all good. I'm having a good time. I'm excited about this episode. So let's do this, man.
All right, cool. All right, so today's guest, I don't think needs much of an introduction, honestly. Like he's been going ape in the scene, like collaborating with so many artists, working on so many different projects. He's very talented, very well known. Like I said, he's probably, to me, I feel like he's probably one of the hardest working people in the scene, one of the hardest working artists in the scene. And I'm really happy that he's here with us to, tell us a little bit about himself, about his upcoming projects, current projects, and tell us a little bit of his story. Ladies and gentlemen.
One of the most talented, Abdullah, right?
Yeah, obviously he's one of the most talented. I mean, we're gonna get to that. I'm gonna do the typical thing of saying the maybe top 3, top 4, top 2. Like you're gonna see that's gonna happen for sure during this scene. But people, put your hands together, strum your guitars, play those high vocals and amazing vocals with Abzy.
I'm already blushing. Hold on. Yo, what's up? You guys made me blush already. What the hell?
Welcome to the show, Abzy, man.
Yo, what's up? How's it going?
Welcome
guys?
to the show, Abzy, man. We're glad to have you on, man.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of since we started this podcast, we've said like, we need to have guests on the show, but let's start off by doing a couple of episodes where we get our footings, and then we had like this list on the side, and you're like in the top like 3 names that we've had on the list of saying, these are definitely the artists we need to start having on a show and interviewing and talk to, because like I mentioned, you've got a lot of experience and you've been making the rounds and you're one of the hardest working people in the scene. So it's always interesting for us to get the perspective of the independent working artist during these shows. So thank you for being here, Abzy.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you for having me. I'm like,
how would you prefer to say your name? Abzy or Abzy, right?
Well, dude, whatever works and whatever is easier for the people,
All right.
Overall, my name is Abbas, and I use Abzy for people who can't say the Ain, instead of Abzy.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes from. Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Let's do an introduction. I went into this assuming that everybody know. I mean, most likely people that are listening to this, or the 5 people that are listening to this podcast, already know who you are. But let's just, in case they don't, just tell us a little bit about who you are.
First of all, whoever's listening to this, you guys are amazing, and you are the coolest because welcome to the cool club.
Nice.
What's it called? My name is Abbas. I'm 34. Been doing like that kind of music since 2006. My first band was called Black 13 Angels, and then I had a couple of bands, and then I've done things here and there until I joined a band called Wazn. And after Wazn, I have Srai. And after Srai, like along with all of that stuff, I've been doing like my solo stuff. I do whatever I feel like right for me. You know what I mean? I enjoy all kind of music. Mostly heavy music is my cup of tea. But yeah, I do listen to everything except Shaylat because it's like a virus to my ears. But yeah, I think that's what I have. What I have in mind.
You're based in Kuwait, right?
But you left out the part where you say that you're a streamer, you're a content creator. Like,
I forget about that. Yeah, I do stream. I play video games and make music live on stream. Actually, and
Nice.
Oh, nice.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, Masoor, you were asking?
You're based out of Kuwait, right? That's where you're
I
from.
am. I am based in Kuwait. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool, cool.
Like, before we get into the stuff that you're into and what you've been doing, your multiple projects, the working with Dusk and touring with them, and the streaming and the video gaming. Um, this is a music focused podcast at the end of the day, so we always like to kick it off by asking what you've been listening to lately. What you've been what's been digging into your ear holes? What's been kind of inspiring you and getting you going?
Uh, what's funny? Like what I listen to is I don't know if it's inspiration or my music, but somehow it is. It's like I'm not making the same style of what I'm listening, but in the same time, because of that, I'm making this. You know what I mean? It's that kind
Sure.
of a
Mm.
vibe. Uh, yeah, I've been listening to a new band called Old the Flame. The vocalist is Johnny Craig. He used to be in a band called Slaves. He used to be in a band called Imarusa back then. Um,
Imarosa, yeah, I love
yeah,
Imarosa, man.
exactly. Yeah, the Johnny Craig guy. He's doing this new band called Old Flame. Um, been listening to Holy Water. This band is like it was very interesting. It felt like something new to me, and I really enjoyed listening to that. Um,
What do they sound
um,
like? What's Holy Water sound like?
I don't know, to be honest. I can't compare them to anything, but let's say in general,
Ah, I think I know. They just released a new record, right?
exactly, yeah.
Like the cover looks. It's. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know this band.
Mm,
They're very popular, actually. They're very well known, and
yeah,
yeah, interesting music for sure.
yeah, yeah. They released an EP with 3 songs, and they're both like very interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
Mm.
like other than that, been listening to a lot of local music actually. The local music been like pushing me like to see great talent here and there. It's making me want to create and make more and more and more. And it's especially in Kuwait, like because um, back then I thought we didn't have enough going on, but now me realizing that there is a lot of bands are making music and coming up with the um, new talents and stuff. It was really nice seeing that. Um,
yeah.
but
Is the
I've
yeah,
always
scene very
said.
active over
I've always
there?
said. Like the scene. Like I remember 2 years ago, or like I don't remember,
mm,
like a year ago when I first started releasing music. I
mm,
don't know who. I think I was talking to Unmuted. He was like kind of. I think he had me on the podcast or something, and I remember saying like at that point wasn't had you guys just released a single as
mm.
well.
Okay.
um and I remember saying like, yeah, like at this point the scene, you can't get away with just putting out anything and expecting people to kind of say, oh man, that's amazing, you're doing such a great job or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's getting so interesting now, and people are releasing so much stuff and good music that,
Yeah.
yeah, it's getting competitive and it's inspiring. Like you said, it pushes you to do more.
It is. It is. And the cool part, like everyone is doing different stuff, but still it's very interesting and it's very inspiring. I'm loving
Yeah,
that. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Any standout from the local scene right now that you've been enjoying?
Uh yeah, actually two of them. A band called To
Hmm.
and a band called Lumina. I feel like those
From the
are the
Kuwait,
ones
from
that
Kuwait, right?
shows
They're both in the Kuwait scene.
from Kuwait. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
both are from Kuwait. I feel like these two are like the ones who I feel like related to musically.
yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing these days in terms of what's the latest release that you had. You've had so many releases, you've had so many
Yeah,
collaborations. I know you did a collaboration with Toe, I think
yeah.
recently, or was it Cordo, like the singer, I think, from Toe.
The
If
same
I'm
guy.
getting
Yeah, the
this,
same guy.
it's the same guy, right? So you've
Same guy.
you've had,
Exactly.
and then there's also a collaboration that you had with Dead Leaf, or
Dead
is
Leaf.
that not out
Exactly.
yet? Is it out or
No,
not out
it
yet?
is. It is. It is. He
It's
he
been
helped
out,
me
yeah.
out with in the same song. Yeah, Paranoia. Um, so Kodos he did vocals in the second part, and Deadleaf helped co-producing, which is he did the breakdowns and that it was a fun experience. And we have more stuff happening and working on together here and there. So
Okay.
it's good to have the locals, different artists to participate in different projects. I'm always down to that collaborate. It's fun. It's always fun.
Yeah. I mean, like as you're talking right now, I'm just remembering all the collaborations that you're doing. So you also had you had a couple of songs or one song. Sorry, you had one song with Taifi, I think.
Yeah, two
Uh,
songs with Ivy.
two songs. Okay, yeah, two
Yeah, yeah.
songs with Taifi.
Mm.
Obviously, you had recently Ana Nahn released an album as well that where you had
Yes,
like the last song or the last song on that album. I think is a song
yes.
featuring you as well. Um,
Mhm.
dude, I like so you've went through all these the projects that you're working on. How do you make time for all that stuff? So um is it, do you have like a schedule or something, or do you have like a Google calendar where you have like, okay, yeah, so I'm gonna work on my content at this time from this time, and then I'm gonna produce my own solo stuff, and then I'm gonna work
Yeah.
on my Saraya stuff, and then I'm gonna like, what's happening there? Like how's
Uh,
your day look like?
Fair enough. Yeah, I actually do plan the whole thing. Like, if I have a featuring, I put priority for the featuring to finish it and get the work done for that person. And then my solo stuff, it's like, it's my comfort zone. Whenever I'm feeling it, I do it. The Wazn stuff and the Sarai stuff, they're like, I do my part and send it, and they have to do their thing and finish it with it. You know what I mean? So usually that's how it is. Very flexible and very
And
easy.
and when you collaborate, do you usually just provide vocals, or do you also do guitar work and other stuff?
Whatever has been like whatever the artist is asking me to do, I'm down to do anything, but mostly vocals.
Yeah, mostly
Yeah.
Let
vocals.
me
Okay.
so you've worked on you and the projects that you're in, the bands that you're in. So you're in Wazn, which is a multi-region band, right? So it's,
Yeah.
you're in Kuwait. I think the guitarist is also in Kuwait. There's another guitarist, Hamandi, is also in Bahrain.
Yes.
Um, different, like international kind of band, right? You guys are collaborating over, over Zoom or overseas or whatever, like over like virtually. And then you
Yeah.
have your own project, Wasn't.
Mm.
Sarai, which is
Sorry.
local. You guys are all there together. You've
Yeah.
also collaborated with Dusk Virtual. So my question is there, do you prefer one method of collaborating over another, or you've done this so long, like you've done it so much that at this point you don't care, like, oh, I don't care whether collaborating virtually or being in the same city and being with the same band together in the same room?
Uh, to be honest, at this point, I feel like it doesn't matter anymore. Like if it's happening, it's happening. Either it's if it's locally or um, out of the place. So yeah, if I get a guy who wants to, do some music in the US and wants to do a tour and stuff, I'm down to do that. Like when it comes to that, I like I'm like, okay, screw my whole life. I'm doing that.
Yeah,
I like taking adventures.
yeah, but I get the
And
sense
you
that,
recently,
go ahead, Mansour.
sorry, uh, sorry guys, there's a bit like of a delay, so don't mind that.
Yeah, yeah.
But in terms of like you saying you like to travel and collaborate, we recently saw you play with Dusk in Saudi. So I was wondering, do you often like tour and travel and play in different places?
At the moment, not really. Like I've been doing that with Dusk. Like before, yeah, before I did the Dubai show a couple of times back in the years, but that's stopped for a very long time until Dusk happened. And yeah, like doing that with Dusk recently was a fun experience. To see the scene in Saudi, to see the scene in Qatar, Bahrain, Dubai as well. So yeah, traveling is not easy, especially if we were doing it like it was almost every weekend. It was a bit
Okay.
exhausting. In the same time, it was very very exciting, and
Mm.
yeah, that experience was crazy. Last year was one of the best years, even though I was going through a very hard time. I was going through mental health issues. I was going through with physical health issues, but I was pushing myself all the way to make it happen, and I did, and I felt very proud and happy of the achievements.
Yeah,
Mm.
I mean, it's not
Yeah,
not every musician from this region gets to say, "Oh, I got to tour." I went with the band and I
exactly.
got to tour, right? So it's a great
Yeah,
experience, and is there anything that you've learned from the, like, I want you to assume that someone who's listening to this podcast right now is like, wants to start a band, and they're starting a band and things like that, and they're excited about going to tour, like whether it is locally, regionally, or like
Mhm.
regionally, so locally or regionally. What advice would you give them about touring, what in terms of, especially something that's relevant to us, like, it's not very common here, في واحد في America or in Europe, like, yeah, the facilities made there may be maybe easier and makes them, makes it easier for them to tour, although it's still hard. But what advice would you give someone who's trying to do this here in Saudi, or in the GCC region?
Um, I think my advice be like, take it more serious. If you take it more serious, it's gonna happen no matter what. Just believe in it and take it more serious. Because usually, like, this is what I went through with bands before, and band members and stuff. They want to do it, but they're not really serious about it. Like, if you are willing to give it all the way, like give it your all, you're gonna like, the sky is your limit. You're gonna go all the way up. Um, so take it serious, and be like passionate about it, and plan it, and like put yourself out there, get to know people. um like, it's gonna happen no matter what. But if you are in your room, and you're just jamming and making music between you and yourself, that's it, in your own zone and your own bubble, no one will hear anything about you, no one will know anything about you. That's why, like, the most, I would say, the most struggle that musicians deal with locally is putting themselves out there, and pushing their music, and promoting it. And like, you literally need to shove it in the people's face, be like, yo, this is my track, listen to it. But be creative about it, be very interesting when you deliver it. Don't be boring, because people get bored easily. If you do all of that, if you plan the whole thing, it's gonna happen no matter what. Just set your mind to it.
Let me ask you, what's the best way to promote yourself? What worked for you?
Bro, the cringiest things that works. We live in a cringy world now. I swear
Okay.
to God, yani, I'm like 34 years old, okay? I'm
Yeah.
doing what 16 years old do just to promote my music, and it's working out. And one of the
Like
things that I
TikToks
never,
and things like that?
100%, bro. If
Good.
you if you get lucky on one video on TikTok, you're big. خلاص. I don't know how
Yeah.
does that work, but it does work. So, uh, like, what you have to do is just ignore what people gonna think about the things you're doing. Just do it. Be as cringy as you want, and try to be different. Like, you need a clickbait. That's you need to bait people to it, and that's all. Like, one of the things, I've I've been doing, like, I'm recording covers. For example, I'm not a huge fan of covers. I don't like doing covers. I like doing original music.
Yeah.
So when people ask me to do covers, I do the covers that I feel like, okay, I can relate to it, and I like the song. So when I do it, I mix, master, record, and everything, and then video, lighting, video editing, and all of that. Okay, sorry. So with all of that, I'm posting the video on TikTok. I get 100 views. But when you record on your phone, a silly, stupid video, it gets like 10K and whatever. It's crazy. It's crazy how the algorithm
Wh-
works. But
What's the
yeah, it is what
what's the thing that you recorded that made you go like, oh, I can't believe I did that?
which one was it? Uh, I have one of those videos where I'm like standing in a bridge in Kuwait here in a landscape view, and I'm
Okay.
like, I made my girl record me with the video, and like like we decided how it's going to go, but I wrote on the video, people don't know that I made this song and my song is playing, and I'm like, yeah, it
Okay, yeah,
worked.
that's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like a popular kind of content, I think, saying,
exactly.
people don't know that this music is mine, or what's the other one? This is what a band from country X sounds like, or
Yes,
something like that.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. There's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
this.
them, but they work, dude. They work. It's funny, but yeah, I'm like, I'm just gonna do it.
Do
If
you
it's gonna help, it's gonna help.
did you see that meme of like there's a meme that's going around of like for
Yeah.
musicians where it's like realizing that no, as a musician you have to also be a content creator, and it's like a guy like getting upset. And do you hate
Struggling.
that?
Yeah.
Do you hate the fact that you have to be a content creator in order to succeed as a musician as well, or do you love it, or it's something that, or you're like whatever, it's something that I have to do at
Uh,
this stage?
to be honest, I feel like I am a content creator because like since I was a kid, I loved putting on videos and creating things online. Since the MySpace days or Facebook days or whatever, I've been putting out content here and there. But yeah, there is a phase in life where you're like, why do I have to do this? Why can't it be like just the way it should be? But yeah, lately because I'm streaming a lot, I'm doing videos a lot. It doesn't matter. I feel like it's fine. It is what it is. That's what's working out, and maybe maybe I will gain new audience, and I will inspire those audience. So I'm like, yeah, screw it. I'm just gonna keep doing it. But yeah, for some people, it's not. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I don't think everybody's comfortable with being a content creator, getting in front
Yeah,
of a camera and shooting themselves, saying a bunch of stuff. I
100%.
mean, I try to do it from time to time on my account where I shoot like videos of myself playing music or something like that.
Mm,
But yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy to think about content
yeah.
and shooting it and then being comfortable with like putting it out. And
Mm,
it is fun. I mean, I enjoy the editing process and and the, setting up the cameras and all of that. It's a lot of
yeah.
fun, but I don't know. Sometimes I just think about it and I go like, "Yahi, I just want to be a musician, or I just want to put out music, and I want people to enjoy my music.
Yeah.
Do I really have to be a content creator as well? Do I have to go do all this other stuff and act cute in front of a camera and do these things in order to just get people to follow me?" And I don't know. It's
Yeah.
interesting, but that's what that's the age that we're living in right now. You have to be
It
kind of a
is. It
content
is the
creator.
hustle and the struggle. It's
Yeah.
a toxic relationship in between both.
You obviously
Do
also
you
have like a
find that you
full-time
have
job,
to
right?
I do. I do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead, Mansoor.
do you find you have to create content that is not necessarily related to your music, something that kind of supplements your music, and you know what I mean, just to keep
Mm.
your accounts active and to get keep your followers engaged and things like that?
Um. Like like doing that exactly, I think it's a bad idea. Because
Yeah.
again, the main goal is to promote what I'm doing or what I have.
Yeah.
I'm against that kind of distraction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I see that a lot of musicians do that. They have like humorous content. They push kind of humorous content and things
Yeah,
like that. That is
I
kind of
noticed
music
that.
related, but not really.
But if you think
Relate.
about it, that's
It's not music. Their music.
if you think about it, that's kind of
Sorry.
that's kind of smart. I bet those people they have a plan. They want to gain all that followers or that people to
Yeah.
present to those people their content and their music later on. Because I've seen people do that. Like they started with making funny content, and they're like, "Yo, by the way, we have music." And when all of those followers heard their music went viral on Spotify and all that platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not your
Yeah.
style.
Yeah, for me, not really. I don't want to do that. I want to focus on making the cringy videos related to my music, and that's all I can do for now.
But isn't like
Yeah.
making streaming gaming and stuff like that, isn't that kind of like supplementing it with like different type of content?
Uh, for me, what I do in the streaming, I usually start with making music, and then for 2 hours
Ah,
or 2 hours and a half, and then switch for video games. And I'm doing
okay.
that idea with the video game as well. And uh, it's working out. I'm grabbing video games audience and music audience, and putting them together, and it's working perfectly.
As we like to say here on the podcast, Abzy, I don't know if you've watched any of your previous episode, but there's a Venn diagram of gamers and and music lovers and gamers. Yeah, a lot of like if you Doom is I think one of the main like it brought a lot of people into the metal scene. I think the Doom soundtrack
Definitely,
and Doom music, right? Like
definitely.
it's so
Yeah.
amazing and so heavy that like I think
Yep.
and obviously Guitar Hero and Rock, but that's like ages ago. I don't know. I don't know if that stuff is
Hey.
relevant anymore. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's an interesting conversation because I've been noticing this a lot. There's like this segment of content creators that are also musicians that are trying to succeed as musicians as well,
Hmm.
and I feel like it's not working that well or as well as they'd like it for it to work. So I'll use a couple of examples here. So someone uh it's like you said, you could start off saying, you know what, I have a plan. I'm gonna eventually release my music and I want people to know me and love me for my music, but I'm gonna start off by doing this type of content first to get followers and get people to like me. So a recent, I don't know why, but the person that comes to mind right now is Rabi, I forgot his last name, but he's the guitar influencer. He does a lot of like, he's sponsored by Universal Audio, sponsored by Neural DSP. Yeah, he basically has a lot
Mm.
of YouTube guitar content and
Oh, okay. The
Instagram
guy
guitar.
with the afro hair, yeah?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
with the
yeah,
afro hair. He
yeah.
has
yeah.
signature guitars. He has like,
Mm.
he's very well known.
Mhm.
He's recently started a band. I'm not sure how that band is doing, but he's like a touring musician. He went and toured with God, what's the name of that famous British rapper? Stormzy. He went and he toured with
Ah,
Stormzy as his guitarist. So he's
okay.
like talented and he's very good.
Mm.
But all he does on his YouTube account is demo gear. Like anytime like Universal Audio releases a new pedal, he's sitting there demoing it. ومدري إيه. And lately, like
Mm.
you watch his content and you feel like he's sick of it. You just watch him and you
Ah,
feel like, oh God, I have to do this now. And he doesn't say it, but it's like
he's not
you can
enjoying
see
it.
it
Yeah,
in
you
his
can tell.
eyes. You can see it,
Damn.
and he's doing it because he has to do it now. But he'd rather probably do the music stuff.
Mm.
And his band, I don't know, like it's not that great. I listened to it and it's pretty average, and I don't think
Mm.
it's gonna, it's that popular, and I don't think people go to him for that content because khalas, they got used to him to that.
Mm.
Another
Mm, mm, mm.
example is have you seen that crazy drummer, the influencer that's really good? Like he has a beard and
Oh, yeah.
he does like weird, like amazing double kick stuff with one
Yeah.
foot. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
guy as well, no, very well known for his drumming, like craziness
Mm.
and antics, right?
Yeah.
Millions and millions of followers on Instagram. Started a band as well. Go on the band's account, like not a lot of followers. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's
I've heard their first single.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like you have to be careful. Like not a lot of people get out of that hole, right? Like if you put yourself in that hole of
Mm.
becoming a popular for a certain shtick or for a certain something,
Yeah.
I mean, who? And you know, I can't remember who, but like who else. I mean, Tosin Abasi is someone who started off as a musician, became an
Mm.
influencer as a musician, and that's why like people go to him for his music and being an influencer, but not
Yeah.
in that order, not as a content creator, and that's why like he's a succeeding as a
Yeah,
musician, I
I guess
guess.
it doesn't work out with like everyone, you know. Like, yeah, I know what you mean exactly. Like, for example, for those guys you mentioned, I feel like if their bands worked on their uh, delivering, especially in nowadays, how everything is quick on social media, you know. If you make a good content and good videos, visuals and videos works perfectly for promoting and stuff. If maybe they work on that, they could like gain what they're aiming for, you know. But yeah, some people get very lucky with it, with which is Tosin. Tosin is a crazy guitarist, and the band itself, it's a crazy band. Like that sound, like I don't think you would hear with any other bands, you know. Like it's still there's no band sound like Animal as leaders, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like that's how it is. It's not easy. It's not easy anymore. It's not like before. You know what I mean? Gabble, or before, like the good bands are easy to find. Slipknot, Limp Bizkit, there, and now there is insane
It's
amount of
saturated. Yeah.
talent. Yeah, insane amount of talent. You either shine or drown. That's it. So that's why
yeah,
Yeah.
you have to do your best.
yeah,
That's what you need to do. Yeah.
Abzy, I have a question. Like, you keep, maybe this is something that I'm noticing with many musicians these days. You're in terms of your solo work, at least, you're releasing singles, and not albums. Do you feel like people are more engaged with the singles format than the albums, or is this something that that was unconscious of you? What is it? Why did you decide to do this?
100%. The singles are the best choice to do nowadays. Like imagine if you're putting a single every 2 months. Like every 2 months a new single. You as an artist, you're active. You keep promoting. You keep gaining more people, and especially if each single sounds different than the other. For example, Mansoor, you will like this single. Abdullah would like the other one. So that's how you gain more and more and more and more. I feel like
Yeah.
that's the best way. And again, now we live in a fast lifestyle, in a quick lifestyle. If the album is not interesting, people wouldn't give it time. They wouldn't. So I think, yeah, that's the putting out singles is the best way. I'm saying that, and I'm putting an album on December. It's just a bunch of songs that I want to get rid of. That's why I'm doing the album. But in 2025, I'm putting singles all the way.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
think
interesting.
the album format will go away eventually and people will just keep releasing singles in this fast-paced, social media-driven world?
Yeah, I believe so, because now if like we don't hear a lot of successful albums. Like it has to be crazy good to hear about it. But singles, you will hear like this song is a hit. This song and this song and this song over and over and over. You will hear a lot of hits in one year. But you barely hear a hit album in one year. That's very like, yeah, especially now with the crazy talent in the world. Like you're going against um, like crazy talented people. Like surprising,
Yeah,
like some stuff you listen to, and you'll think like a human can actually make that. It's how crazy it is nowadays.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's as someone who enjoys buying just albums and listening to albums, like
Mm,
I listen to albums. Like I know my favorite artists, I'm always looking forward to the next album. But at the same
mm,
time, sometimes I listen to a record that they were released, and I'll be like, man, maybe they could have just released like four singles or something like that,
yeah.
put their efforts into writing really four really good songs, that will make me come to the album again and again and listen to it, or EP
Mm,
or whatever it is. But yeah, like this thing about, yeah, being hyper focused on releasing a 10, 12 song album where like three of them are good and the rest of it is just filler or something like that.
exactly.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's something I hate saying as someone who loves albums. Like we were just talking, Mansoor and I, in the last episode. Like High on Fire released a fantastic album recently.
Mm,
It's like really good from back to end. So like a band like that, if they release singles, I don't know if I would have been as satisfied. Or Nails, for example, they just released a great 15-minute album or 17-minute album, but it's
mm,
great. It's like, yeah, it's interesting. And Pete, that's what I keep hearing. Singles is the way to go. Singles is the way to go, and it makes sense that people are more likely to go to your page and listen to your singles. But artists are still releasing albums. The pop artists, the
mm.
hip hop artists, everybody's still releasing albums. So I'm not sure what's going
I
on
feel
there.
I feel like those people who's making albums are people who have like who are big enough to release an album and make money out of it. I feel like that's how it should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so. Yeah,
but
I guess if you're like
yeah,
big enough, and if you're a big name, household name, then yeah. And is it something as well that people do in order to fill, like if you're a big name, then yeah, you're expected to go on tour and probably like perform a whole
yeah,
bunch of songs. And if you've been releasing singles and you're what, it's, I don't know. Eh,
yeah,
it's interesting. It's interesting, and people still stuck in their old way, I guess, and they want albums, I guess, or they want you to release albums. So
yeah.
um, it's, tell us a little bit about the tour with Dusk. You mentioned it earlier. That was really interesting, going from one country to another, coming
Yeah.
here and playing and seeing the talent and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Um, uh, what is it? maybe يمكن سؤال محرج شوية, but like,
Mm.
what was it like your experience dealing with the different venues around the region? You know, which ones you felt
Yeah.
like are impressed you the most, that you
Oh,
like the most, which ones that you like the
well,
most?
I have the best answer to this. You know,
Okay, yeah,
so basically we started with Dubai. Yeah, Dubai. We started with Dubai, and then Jeddah, and then Qatar, I think, and
okay,
then Bahrain, and then Riyadh. I think the best audience and the best shows were in Saudi as an
wow.
audience, as an experience. Yeah, 100%. And believe
In
it or
Jeddah,
not,
right? That's the one
uh,
you performed in.
yeah, we did the Jeddah in Makan. It was amazing. Like people
I
were
was there. I
sober.
remember that show.
Yeah, dude. Like, okay, usually in Bahrain, Qatar, Dubai, usually they happen in a club or in a bar, like kind of a venue, yeah. And people are not sober in that places. But the energy that we received from Jeddah and from Riyadh, people are sober. People are, yani, you can tell and you can feel the amazing energy from the sober people. You know, how they're thirsty for the energy, for the music. They're coming to enjoy the music so bad. Uh, like you give and you receive back. It was like so far it's the best shows I've done in Saudi. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So that Makan, by the way, is the venue that's in Jeddah. They usually
Mhm.
host a lot of different artists, and you know, from time to time they'll do underground. Like they'll bring underground bands like Dusk and Abzy to perform there, and bands like Wolfram. Mansour, our co-host here, he performed there at Makan multiple times. So yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool to hear. It's especially nice to
Yeah.
hear as well, knowing that in Saudi we haven't been doing this a lot, and maybe that's why. Maybe people are just really hungry for live shows and seeing local
100%.
bands and small independent artists and people that are have a lot of energy, aggressive music. Like it's not been played live a lot. So yeah, obviously I can imagine like the energy was pretty. Unfortunately, I was too busy taking a video. I don't know if you remember
Yeah,
that day, but
I do. I
but
do.
yeah, but yeah, that's
Yeah. No,
yeah. I mean,
that
yeah, it was a
that
great
day
show.
was amazing, really.
Yeah,
Even like meeting people there was really fun. It was a new place for me, like this is my first time going to Saudi actually, in Jeddah, and
Yeah.
did you feel
yeah,
like a
just
lot of people that you didn't know like came up to you and said, "Oh, Abzy, I wanna, I wanna take a picture with you," or "Oh, it's great
I
meeting you."
yeah, I
Like people
felt
you
it.
didn't know, like obviously other than people from the
Yeah,
scene, yani, that
exactly, exactly. It was
that's
crazy. Like I remember I took a lot of photos, and I'm like, wow, that feels good. I like it.
interesting. That's really
Yeah,
cool. That happened to me once, and I was like really surprised by it. I was like, "Whoa, well, I mean, that's
yeah.
like it only." I was in syrup, so it
Okay.
was I think I don't remember which show it was, but it was one of the shows. I think it was Dusk. No, sorry, not Dusk. It was wasn't no. Why do I keep saying the wrong names? It was Moja and I think I don't know. I can't remember the other bands that were playing that night. But and him like at some point I was like packing my stuff, and then a guy came up to me and he was like, "Hey, you're Muzaj, right? Oh yeah, I want to take a picture with you." And I was like, "Whoa,
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
this is the first
Hell
time.
yeah.
This is really great."
Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. Like what I love about it, people come to you and like they appreciate you. Like they
Yeah,
literally appreciate the things you do. And this is perfect because you as an artist, you're just giving, giving, giving. You want to receive back. It's
yeah.
always good to have that person that loves what you're doing and appreciate what you're doing. That's why we keep doing it.
I wonder, do you get this feeling? Like I always listen. I mean, I know when that happened to me, like so a couple of
Mm.
times, I'm not as popular as you, right? But it's like something like that scenario that happened where like that guy came to take a picture of me. There's someone as well that a friend of mine or someone that I got to know through the scene as well, that apparently mentioned that really enjoys my music, and it was their top like one song that they've been listening to in 2023 or something like that. I can't remember which year
Damn.
it was. So
Nice.
like when I see that stuff, I'm like, why? What's wrong with you? Why do you listen to my music and why do you enjoy it this much? And why do you like me? Like, I feel like it's an imposter syndrome. I'm like, oh, they're just being nice or something like that. Do you get that
Hey,
sense? Do you feel that sometimes like, are people just being nice to me or am I actually talented or am I good?
I get,
At the
yeah,
end of the
yeah,
day.
yeah. Of course, you must get that. Why exactly? You said it yourself. You do get it. Yeah, 100%. But in the same time, you'll be like, okay, damn,
You have
I'm
to be
good to
confident
someone.
sometimes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, 100%. It's that feeling is amazing itself. The why and oh shit, I'm good.
Yeah,
It's a good
exactly.
mix. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so my last question here, but and then maybe Mansour, if you have a question, and I guess we don't want to keep our guests here for too long, but the I feel like I want to understand, or I want to get in a sense of the solo stuff that you're doing today. What scratch is it itching that's not? Yeah, so okay, when I look at your projects, I see Wazn. Okay, so Wazn, all right, it's the progressive metal, like aggressive kind of type of music. That's there's singing, but there's also a lot of growling and shouting. And look, so it's aggressive, it's modern, it's metal, it's all of that. Sarai, it's also modern metal, but it's like more accessible, right? It's more. Yeah, I don't know what's the term that I can use here, but it's like there's accessibility there. It has a bit of a poppier sensibility. I'm not poppy, but not pop, but yeah, you know what I mean. Like it's
Yeah,
easier to
yeah.
get into. People can get into it very easily, and it's easy. It's really good and catchy, right?
That was the goal for it. Yeah.
Exactly. And what's the solo stuff? Where does it fit in and all of that? Because I listen to it, and I also get the sense it's very close to a little bit of what Sarai is doing, but I'm just trying to get to see like you as an artist, what scratches that itching for you, or what itch
I
is that scratching for you?
Yeah, like the solo stuff. I feel like it's more alternative and accessible for like new people who uh, doesn't listen to a lot of heavy stuff or rock or any like or people uh, who are not ready to get out of their comfort zone, and maybe you can squeeze that kind of music there for them to enjoy it. It's sometimes slow, it's sometimes poppy, it's sometimes up and down. Um, it's funny, like I'm like trying to do kind of like the old new metal kind of a vibe. I'm trying
Mm,
to add the nostalgic to it.
mm, mm.
So people my age uh, and people from what do you call it? From around the community in itself, listen to it. When they listen to it, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm getting the vibe from." For example, I get the Linkin Park a lot. I get um, what do you call it? 30 seconds to Mars, for example. I got that a couple of times.
Okay.
So so yeah, it's very friendly and like the main goal is make it relatable mostly, you know. So
Mm.
I would say that's what it's around pretty much. And what's funny? Most of the songs that I released under my solo project, I record them live on the streams, and I
Oh,
love to include I love to include my audience with the tempo, the key, lyrics sometimes, and I like to make them feel like it's their song as well, and it's perfect.
Mm.
Yeah,
interesting. So by the time you finish
Interesting.
the stream, you would have like a basic track with vocals, with like an
yeah,
idea, like drums, like some kind of
yeah,
drums, and then you just fine tuning after that. Like you build it into like
exactly.
you produce it into full fledged song. Okay. That's
Yeah.
really cool. That's a cool idea. Do you ever feel like
Yeah.
someone's gonna come back and be like, "Hey, man, I want credits on this song because I'm the one that told you you should do this with the drum set, or you should do that with
Y-
the
ex-
drum line, or
expect, expect the unexpected, but that never happened yet. I hope it won't, but yeah, you never know.
yeah." I feel like it's dangerous. I
No,
feel like I don't know if I would do that. I would be
no,
worried
no,
It's
about
a
no.
someone
very
trying
bold
to.
move, I have to say, man. It's a very, very bold move,
Yeah,
honestly. To do that.
like usually
Yeah,
people suggest, but they don't take like a huge part because you are here. It's for example, like if I am recording and a person be like, "Hey, why don't you add this note?" You're not gonna get exactly what they have in mind because you are here and they're there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can actually commend you for doing that. You know, it just showcases the level of your music maturity, I guess, is the
Mm,
way I would describe it, because because you know I feel I would be very intimidated and very self-conscious about
mm,
sharing something like that and doing it publicly. I feel like writing music and being musical is like a very intimate process for me, and and that's why, like, I'd love to start working with a band and like playing with friends and getting into a band and stuff like that. But I'm always wondering, like, if I'm going to be able to do that, because I'm gotten used to so much working on my own and doing stuff in my own cave that,
uh,
I wonder, again, like, maybe this is like musical immaturity from my side, but from your side, because you've had a lot of experience. Let's say, you're no longer green, so you've gotten to the
yeah,
point where, what, at this stage, I can get on stream, open up my DAW, like, share it on the head and tell people, yalla, tell
yeah.
me what ideas you have, and let me, make it into a more communal kind of feeling experience,
That's the goal, actually. Yeah, yeah, that's the goal, and it's working
Mm.
good. People are listening more. Yani, like I was like studying this for a while, and like when I put out Red Flags, which is one of the recent stuff,
Mm,
and I saw how the streams and the viewers and the followers got way high than the regular stuff, and I'm like, okay, so this is a good study and a good way to work my things. And like again, the more people relate and feel like they took part of it, and the more listeners you will have, the more um, uh, promoting gonna happen for the track itself. They will share it. For example, uh, 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 guy A, he will go around and be like, "Yo, I took part in this." Guy C will go and be like, "Yo," send it to multiple people, and yeah, it's a way to put it out there. I'm like studying the whole thing. I'm testing out the whole thing to see what's working perfectly, and I think at at a stage like I'm at a very good stage with doing all of that at the moment. So yeah,
I wonder, it's a great idea.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, if it's not everybody can do it, obviously, because you have to have like a bit of musical talent to do something like that. But it's a fantastic idea, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, since, like you mentioned, we mentioned like we have all these different projects, and you said you like to make your music very relatable, but like, how do you approach each of these projects from like a creative point of view? Like, do you try to fit that each project with your style, or do you try to fit in that style? You know what I mean?
Mm. Um, well, like for example, as I was saying, I've got an album. Hopefully, it will be released on December. It has 10 tracks on it, and each song doesn't sound the same. Uh, they all have different feelings. They all have different vibes. And it's funny how uh, uh, like how I got to work with people online on the streams, and a person was like, "How about we do sad vibe?" And we did that field, that vibe. It went sad, and the other one, let's do a heavy vibe. We went with it, So um, let's say every time we stream. Sometimes one song takes a whole week or 2 weeks. After we finish, we switch to another one. We switch to another one. So what's happening? We get along with it. There is nothing specific that we aim for. We just like start an idea and just get along with it and see where it goes. For example, today I actually was streaming before the podcast today,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and the song. We called it Girgian. Girgian, it's the Ramadan celebrating for the kids where you give the random candies. We called that song that name. It's not actually going to go with that name, but we're giving it that name because the song started like with the Limp Bizkit and then it went Oriental. It went Sahara. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had a weird. vibe, but it's working, you know. And
Yeah.
yeah, like that's how usually it is. But other than that, sometimes when I'm sitting alone by myself, um, of course, I get that alone time writing for specific songs, and I don't want to be anyone included. خلاص يصير okay. This one's all me. So I work on it alone, and I do the whole thing, the whole vibe, and all of it. You know.
What's the kind of vibe that people relate to the most, since that's like what you're trying to achieve?
Um, Subjects that when you think of and you'll be like, yeah, everyone can relate for that with that. For example, I wrote a song called "Times Flies," and it's something that I was going through, and then like everyone else will go through it. You know, when it hits you, and you'll be like, "I'm here. How did I get here?
Yeah.
Time flew so fast." You know.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
I just had a
that's
birthday a week ago, so
exactly. You know what I mean, dude? Like for example, 2024 passed so quick, didn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we
that's
lost
Yeah,
one.
like a couple of
absolutely.
years of our lives, man.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. Time is running.
So
Also
it's
a
mainly
song.
people relating to concepts, I guess, like themes and
Yeah,
things like that.
yeah,
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 yeah.
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 100%. Yeah, like yeah, just ideas and concepts, and I think that they mostly go through it.
Awesome. طيب,
Yeah,
I
dude.
wanna I wanna ask before we wrap this up, before we wrap the episode, I wanna ask one question.
Mhm.
What advice would you give us as the Anti Shuffle podcast in order to improve our content and improve our setup and improve the way we execute things? What would you say is the things, let's say, yeah, like as an up and coming podcast that's trying to gain traction, become like a niche alternative rock metal podcast for the region? What should we
Mm.
do? What's the first
All
thing
right,
we should do?
first, easy. Download TikTok. that's
You know what's funny?
that's number
We
one.
have a TikTok
Be
account.
cringy.
We
That's what
have a
he's
TikTok
saying.
account.
He's saying be cringy.
Oh my
You have to
god.
be cringy.
طيب,
That's
Mansoor,
yeah,
listen, man. You're gonna have to do
yeah.
it.
Oh, good. I'll try to be cringy for you, for the people, if that's what the people want.
Yeah, dude. Also, since that the content is in English, try to put in Arabic. What do you call it? Subtitle.
Subtitles.
Subtitles.
Okay.
This is
Yeah,
one of the things
for
that we've been
them.
talking a
Yeah.
lot about, actually. Whether into your content, is it mainly delivered in English or in Arabic?
Mine both actually.
Both.
Hey,
Yeah,
if
this
if
is
if
this is an area that we've been talking about a lot. Whether deciding on, any how should we start progressing, and switching our content and making it at least something in between. Where it's like
yeah,
being delivered in
it
both.
should be in between because you want to aim for international and for the region. You know, and like the goal should be international more than the region itself. You know, you want to reach the far ahead than the closer because usually the region will not give a falafel until the far away will hear about you and they talk about you, and then the region, oh, this guy is with us, he's part of us. Usually that's how it is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's funny. You say this. I saw the
Mm,
other day a interview with
yeah.
Suicide, that hip hop band,
Mm,
Suicide Boys. No,
yeah.
yeah, Suicide Boys. Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
And they talked about that. They said,
100%.
yeah, they said, listen, we the way we got popular is that we focus on the international scene. I don't know how they did it, and honestly, like, it would be great to know how you do that, how you focus on internet, get popularity internationally. But what they said was, we focus on getting popular internationally because the local scene and the local homeboys, the people, for some reason, they just don't like supporting their local,
Until you
scene. I
success.
don't know what it is.
Yeah, until you succeed, this is when they'll be like, hey, we know you, bro.
Yes.
I did locally acting from 2012 to 2016. Yeah. I started showing up on Kuwait TV, Abu Dhabi TV, and random what's it called, TV channels from
Channels.
Al Khalij. Yeah, I've got people calling me from high school, people I've never heard from some like ages ago, and they're like, "Hey, we saw you on TV. Congrats on the success. What's it called? Let's hang out sometimes." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Ah, you know.
Wow.
Yeah,
But yeah,
everybody wants to be your
dude.
friend now.
Yeah, everyone wants to be your friend when you succeed. When you succeed. But yeah, you always remember the OGs, like the ones who always like. There's always that person when they that one person that tells you that one word, and it will get stuck with you until the end. You will remember that person for saying that, and they might thinking it's just a word, but they have no idea how much it means to you. It's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Always, you know your homies على قولتهم. Yeah.
Exactly.
And speaking of that, even Corey Taylor from Slipknot, that's why he said about the regional stuff. Uh, I think he's from Ohio or something, but yeah,
He's from Iowa.
like
Isn't he from Iowa?
yeah, he's from
Yeah,
exactly
Mm.
from Iowa. He said something about going to another state and they made it big than their own state. So it's not even. Oh yeah, even asking Alexandria, they're like, we made it out of UK. We like asking Alexandria, they made it big in the US than UK itself, and then they
Yeah.
went back to the UK. And yeah,
I
they
just realized you telling me this. I never knew that they were based from the UK.
dude, asking Alexandria started in Dubai. Do you know that?
No.
Oof.
Yep.
How
Believe it
how
or
did
not.
that?
Serious.
I know what I remember asking Alexandria started in
Yeah.
an MTV show or something like that, right?
The
There was an
what's it
MTV
called?
show or something.
The Ben guy, the guitarist who left
أيوة.
already the band for some reason. He was living in Dubai.
Oof.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's so interesting.
exactly. And
Wow.
then the band got big. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, dude.
All right,
Yeah.
Abzi, this
Yeah,
has
dude.
been fantastic.
Same wise.
So
Hell yeah.
why don't you wrap it? Let's wrap this up by telling us what is something that you want to promote, anything that you want to promote, anybody that you want to talk about, anything that you have coming up now, anything that you have. Tell us, what is it?
Wazen is dropping an EP with 4
Oh,
songs. Yeah, in October. I'm
Nice.
releasing an album with 10 tracks in December, hopefully. Uh, Shows with Dusk hopefully gonna happen October, November, December.
wow.
And yeah, that's pretty much about it for this year. Stay tuned and keep on rocking. Let's see
Wow.
what 20,
Wow.
2025 gonna bring us. Looking
Busy
forward
bee,
to it.
busy bee. Abzi is a busy man. Like I said, one of the most hardworking people in the scene.
Cheers.
All right, guys. It was great having you, Abzi. I really thoroughly enjoyed this episode. And I hope you enjoyed it too. We always like to ask our guests, how would you rate this episode? Abzi? Abzi?
Yes, sir.
Abzi, did we lose you?
Froze.
Abzi, we lost you.
Mansoor, can
Abzi.
you hear him?
I can hear you. I can hear you
It's
both.
glitching.
Okay.
Oh.
Let's do that. Let's do that again.
It's glitching for both of you.
Abzi, can you hear me now?
Is it better
I
now?
cannot hear you guys.
Oops, we can hear you. Hello, hello.
Yo, can you guys
Abzi?
hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear
Alright.
us?
Yes,
hear you.
we're good. Yeah,
All
we're
right.
good.
Okay.
Let's do this one more time, okay?
All right.
All right, Abzi. So before we let you go, there's always a question that we'd like to ask our guests as our second guest. How would you rate this episode? How would you rate your experience?
Whoa, 10 out of 10, dude. So far, I really enjoyed it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, awesome, man.
my favorite
That's a high
podcast
that's
so
high
far.
praise.
I had
Ooh.
I had an amazing time. I'm looking
know if
forward to be here again.
Actually, yes,
Well,
for sure. We will have you
we're
again when you
definitely
have
gonna have you again, inshallah.
for the release, anything that's comes up, any kind of release or whatever. We'd love to have you back and to talk about any kind of upcoming release. But that's high
Yeah.
praise. I don't know if you're saying it just to be nice. This is the part of me that's being.
No, you guys made my day. I really enjoyed it.
Wallah, we too.
No, man, we really
thank you for-
appreciate it. I mean, we look forward to hearing, man, all of your upcoming releases and seeing you with Dusk and maybe tour the region again. Yeah, it sounds exciting, man. Thanks so much
Yeah.
for coming on
Yes.
the show.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Abzy.
Thank you.
We are out.